Hi, my name is Rhoda Gordon. I own Sunflower Photo Solutions and I'm a certified photo manager. I'm also the creator of Dig Your Photos, the only and best print photo organizing kit on the market. And I'm here to talk to you about your albums and bags and boxes of photos that are laying around the house collecting dust and that you're not enjoying and sharing with your family. And also, I have to say that I've heard from many clients that those boxes in the garage or in the attic or under your bed of loose photos causes a lot of stress because we know we should be doing something with them. They've been saved because they're precious memories, but oftentimes people don't know where to start. So I'm here to give you 4 simple steps to organizing your own print photos. Hunt and gather, simple sort, creating a family timeline, and categorizing. So the first step is hunt and gather. And in order to do that, think about what your end goal is. Do you have a specific project in mind? For example, maybe a daughter or a son is getting married or graduating even. And if you have a specific project in mind, then the way you're going to hunt and gather is different than if you're doing a full organizing of your whole collection. So think about what your goal is and then go and find all the photos pertaining to the goal. So if your goal is just to start organizing room by room, go into your first room and collect all your photos and bring them to one area. Don't forget to look in drawers or take the frames off the wall or look under the bed. All those places are places where our precious memories live and hide from us. Take all of your whole collection and bring it to one spot in your house where you can work on it over maybe a couple days or a long afternoon, and it's not going to get into the way of something else. So once you've done all your hunting and gathering and your media collection that you're going to organize is in one place, you move on to the next step, which is quick sort. Your quick sort really is a way of paring down your collection very quickly and also identifying the most important photos and the other photos that you want to keep. So you take your collection that you've worked on and you pick up a stack of photos and you quickly sort them into piles. Now, how do you know what the piles should be? I'm going to tell you. You have your best of the best, your best pile, and that is the photos that mean the most to you. The ones that you want to either display or turn into a project or just have close at hand because you want to be able to share them quite often with your friends and family. The next pile is good. These are photos that you are going to save, you don't want to get rid of, but you don't necessarily have to look at them on a monthly or even half-yearly basis. So that you want to save these memories because they're important, but they can be boxed up in archival safe boxes so that you can access them when you need them. The third pile is story. Now these are the photos, and there's probably not so many of them, but they tell a story that you want to save for the next generation and to share with your family. So these go into the story pile and you record the story, either on a note card or in your notes app, some way to record the story for those photos. And the last pile probably will be your biggest if you've never gone through this box or bags of photos before. And that is trash. And these are all the photos that you don't need anymore. Maybe there was a series of shots. You only really need to keep the best shot. You don't need all the other shots. Or, okay, I know you probably know about this, all the duplicates, right? Back in the 90s and even the early 2000s, and way before that, of course, we took photos and we didn't know how they were going to turn out. So we took a lot of them, just trying to maybe get our child's first step. But when we went to develop them, we always developed in duplicates and sometimes even triplicates so we could give it to our mother, our mother-in-law, our aunt, whatever. We don't need more than one photo. So pick the best, get rid of the duplicates, and then let's just talk about scenery photos now. We don't need all those scenery photos. Pick the best of the best. If there's not a person in that particular photo, you don't need a lot of them. You don't need 100 photos of the Grand Canyon. A few, that's great. How about your trip to the zoo? Do you need a picture of every animal you saw at the zoo? At the time, it was important, and you shared it with your child who was there with you or your mother, and that was great. But now you don't need pictures of all the animals in the zoo, so you can get rid of them. I give you permission. So once you've gone through your whole collection that you have in your area that you've decided you're going to work on, and they're all in piles, then you can move on to the next step, and that is creating a family timeline. One of the best support tools you can have in organizing your print photo collection is a family timeline. It will be invaluable in the next step, which is categorizing your photos. So how do you create a family timeline? Well, I like to do it by rolling out a long piece of paper, maybe butcher's paper or the brown craft paper, and drawing a long horizontal line across it. And then, knowing the collection, because we've already sorted it, I turn the long horizontal line, I divide it with vertical lines into decades of the relevant decades for my photo collection. So if my photo collection went from 1974 until 1994, the decades I would be interested in are the 1970s, the 1980s, and the 1990s. Once that was done, I would start marking all the family milestones from those decades to help me categorize the photos in the next phase. And creating a family timeline can be a family affair. Create it with your children, your grandchildren, and once it's done, decorate it. On the anniversary of your wedding date, maybe draw little wedding bells or a veil. When the baby was born, draw little baby booties, or go all out and buy stickers and decorate the whole thing. It really can be a fun project that brings the family together. Once the family timeline is done, you can move on to the categorizing step. So this is the final step in your photo organizing, to categorize your photos chronologically. The timeline is your tool, and you start with your best pile, and you start placing them on the timeline by date, using the milestones as your pieces of information, your key pieces, so that you know where to date these photos from. And once you've gone through the whole best pile, use index cards to identify the dates, and then pile up your photos divided by the index cards and set them aside. So now they're all organized by the dates when they were taken, or at least the year. And that's all we really need, right? We don't need to get all the way into the weeds. Just do it by year. Give yourself some freedom with that. And then you start on your best pile, and you do the exact same thing. You sort it by the dates, using your timeline and using the milestones as ticklers to remember maybe where you lived, and you can use clues in the photos to see which backyard you were in or anything like that. It's really not rocket science, and you are the best person to organize it. So once you're done with the good pile, then you do the same thing. You use index cards to write the dates, and then you start stacking the photos and dividing them by the index cards with the dates. And you'll end up with a pile of photos, and you can put them upright in a shoebox or something else to temporarily store them. And now they're all organized or categorized by date. And really, you can consider yourself done, but I would suggest, one, that you store it in archival safe storage, which are very pretty and makes it very easy to access. And they have nicer dividers than index cards that you can use. And the second thing I would say is to digitize this photo collection now that it's organized, because it creates a backup so that you have a backup. And it also creates a way to share your photo collection and share your family story with generations to come. Now, if all of this seems a little overwhelming and daunting to you, then I have the product for you. It's called Dig Your Photos. I have designed it, and it has everything you need to organize your print photos all in one box. It includes video support, instruction cards, a toolkit with all the tools that a certified photo manager would use, as well as the family timeline template and resources online for you. Check it out today, digyourphotos.com. It makes a great gift as well as a great tool for yourself to organize your photo collection. Thank you. Now, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and give me a like.